Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to Wales. I'm near Newport in Wales, and I'm on my way to visit MSRT in my MSRT Ranger Limited Edition. The plan was always to come and visit the guys at MSRT and take a look at their facility here and understand what they do, but also we're going to fit a couple of modifications to this car that should make it much more usable for me in my day-to-day life. So I can't believe I've had this nearly 2 months now, this Ranger, and I absolutely love it. In fact, me and Mrs. Petrol Ped love this car. It's such fun to drive. It's got such road presence. It is big, but that works in its favour. I just think it looks absolutely ace. However, there are a couple of little things to do with the car that are or could be made better. And the biggest thing is that the pickup truck bit at the back, the open flatbed, is open. And that means that I've got no way of securing stuff in it, and also it's open to the elements, so if it rains, then water collects in the back. So one of the things we're going to do today is fit a roller shutter blind across the top of the pickup part, and that will give me a means to secure it and make it a secure load space, and also it will mean it's safe from the elements. Now that is actually an option when you buy one of these. You can opt that in the spec process, if you like. This car wasn't optioned with that. The other thing though, we might well add a couple of modifications to do with helping me use this more for my cycling, because there's a couple of really cool things. But what I wanted to do was come to MSRT to really understand more about the business, more about what they do, more about their integration with Ford and the way in which they approach the design process, because this isn't just a Ranger with a body kit. There's much more to it than that. And what's really cool is at the moment the guys at MSRT are working on the replacement Ranger. This particular vehicle is its end of life. It's going to be taken off fleet as a press vehicle at the end of this year, which is why it's got to go back in December. And there's a new Ranger coming, and I can't wait to see the designs of the new Ranger. Whether I can share those with you or not, I'm not sure yet. And also to look at the work that they're doing on the transit replacement. But I think it's going to be an interesting day, and I always love looking around factories anyway. So I'm very close. I'm only 1.5 miles away from the factory. I met up with the guys last night, actually. I stayed locally and we went out for a beer and just a chat about what we were going to do today. And they did say, be prepared. The factory's much bigger than you think.
So welcome to MSRT. Now, I'm actually in the kind of R&D lab here, and this isn't the normal stuff that the guys here at MSRT would do. They wouldn't normally have a customer bring a vehicle in for modifications. They're doing this for me as a special favour. So I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do to the Ranger that's behind me. So basically we're going to have a roller shutter put on the rear loading deck and a cycle carrier fitted. And as I've said on the way in, this is actually something you would normally spec when you buy one of these vehicles and you spec it from scratch. They would build this in. So we're retrofitting it because this vehicle never had one to start with. But while I'm here, what I want to do is have a walk around the facility, because when I picked up this vehicle and when I had the yellow MSRT Transit last year, I talked a lot about the ethos of the fact there's a lot of aesthetics, it's different wings and wheels and interior. But my understanding, or what I thought MSRT was, especially its relationship to Ford, was just so far off of the mark. When you walk around here, this is a full-blown production facility. So I thought it'd be really interesting to go behind the scenes and see how these vehicles are built today, but then also the way that that's going to change with the new model Ranger and the new model Transit is a fundamental shift in how these vehicles are done. So let's kind of quickly watch this process take place. It shouldn't take too long, and then we'll take a wander around the factory and have a look at how the Ranger behind me and the Transits are actually made. So this is the roller blind that's actually going to be fitted on the back of the Ranger. They're just kind of putting all the bits together, making sure the fit and finish is correct. And then over here we've got the truck on the ramp. So what we actually need to do is remove this whole side panel here, and also the bar across the top there, that needs to come off. And then what that means once it's on is, at the moment, this loading bay is open to the elements. It's very difficult to secure stuff in here if I'm driving along, and also it's open to the elements. So if there was stuff in here and it rained, then it's going to get wet. Now, the roller shutter we're putting on isn't 100% waterproof. It doesn't completely seal this from the elements, but it certainly makes it an awful lot better. And then we're also going to put a cycle rack on the back, which will mean that I'm going to be able to use this vehicle much, much more to carry my bikes around. So let's watch what the guys need to do. Now then, guys, I'm joined by James from MSRT. Welcome to the channel, mate.
Thanks for having me.
And we thought we'd start next to this because my first exposure to MSRT was borrowing a Transit in exactly that colour.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video. It's pretty good.
From Hendy. But what amazes me is this is just one vehicle on this rack.
That's right, yeah.
There's a lot of bits.
Yeah, so on this kit, because it's a SVO or special vehicle colour or option, it's got around about 27 parts, but then you've got the additional parts like the parking sensors, the handles, the mouldings. Because it comes as a black textured part, and black textured parts on the vehicle, we've got to take them off and colour code them as well.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of parts on the kit, which you didn't see.
So my first understanding of what I thought MSRT was quite a long way away from actually what you were. So kind of for the guy, just explain a little bit about where you've come from, but then actually the really exciting stuff is what's going to happen in the very near future.
Yeah, so the company started in 2015. We started creating vehicles. We saw that Ford was a well-engineered vehicle, basically. They launched their Transit Custom in 2014. We had one, we had a look at it, took the parts off, put the parts back on. It was well-engineered, so we thought that we would design a Transit Custom, a sporty Transit Custom. Went to go and see Malcolm Wilson and said, can we use his name for the product? And then year on year in 2015 to where we are now, we've progressed year on year with the engineering side of it, the way that the quality of the kits are. So in 2015 we started with fiberglass. Then we moved into RIM, which is reaction injection molded plastic. Then we designed our own vehicle in 2018. And then in 2021 we started to become one-stop shop, which is the collaboration with Ford. We're now a partner of Ford. And the vehicle is now injection molded rather than the rim or the fiberglass as it was previously.
Right. So, what we thought would be quite interesting, because again, I had no idea just how big a facility was here. We met last night
big.
for a beer, and you went, you're going to be surprised tomorrow, it's massive. It's massive, but I love coming around factories. I've got a background in manufacturing.
Yeah.
This is a proper manufacturing facility. So these have been bought in, prepped, sprayed. You've got the spray booths just behind
sprayed
us.
there, yeah.
They're curing at the moment.
They are curing, yeah.
You've then over that way got an inspection light tunnel
Yes,
to
we
inspect
have.
them.
Yep,
And then we start putting them on vehicles.
we certainly do.
Should we go and have a wander and have
Let's
a
go
look
on
at
over, have a little look.
that? So before we have a look at the assembly, you've got some disassembly.
Yeah.
Got to say,
So
the Ranger I've got comes in as a wild track.
yes,
Like this.
Yeah. So this is for left-hand drive market because it's a super cab, but it'll come in as a base wild track.
Yeah.
The guys here are stripping the vehicle off, so wings are getting removed, front bumpers getting removed. We're getting the quarters ready for the overlay of quarter panels.
Yeah.
So there's quite a large part of the conversion which goes onto a Ranger, which people don't see.
Yeah.
With the rear quarter panels, front bumpers, wings,
Oh,
wheels.
here we go. There's the
sill,
bumper
side
on its
step.
way.
There we are. There's the bumper. Yeah, there's a lot of content which is one removed
Yeah.
and then two put back onto the Ranger to make it an MSRT.
Yeah. And the same thing with the Transits that we've got
Yeah,
coming through.
exactly
They
same
come in
thing.
here as base spec as you can, steel wheels.
Yeah.
They come off.
So the Transit Custom currently is based on a Limited.
Yeah.
And then again, we decontent it, take all the parts off, so front bumper, rear bumper, wheels, etc.
Yeah.
Put the MSRT kit on it.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk into new models,
Yeah.
because we've been discussing them whilst you've been here, new models, when we go into new custom, new Ranger, well, we're currently speaking with Ford now to make sure that we can make the vehicle as an entity level within the Ford PDL, so a product definition letter. That means that the vehicle will come in as, rather than it coming in as a Limited and we're adding our conversion on top, it'll come in as an MSRT directly from Ford. So in the factory in Coachella, where they make the Transit Custom, we'll have our wheels put on there, we'll have the steering wheel put on there,
okay.
and decontent the vehicle so there's less waste when it comes into MSRT So you can see we've taken off a lot of bumpers, a lot of wings.
Yeah.
And the same with Ranger, we're doing exactly the same thing then in the South Africa plant, and try and see how we can integrate the cost saving of removing the wheels and less waste in the Ford factory.
Cool. So everything gets taken off here.
Yeah.
And it goes through here, and you put everything back on again.
We go over to the
So we've got to have a look at that.
we go over to the factory and we put everything back on. So let's have a look.
These look familiar.
Yeah, the ones you just took off earlier.
That's right. So
I'm joking.
So these are the ones. These are the front and rear wings for the Ranger.
Yeah, so these are the ones that we manufacture in our facility and then paint in-house, and then we'll go onto the vehicle. So basically this is a trolley of a vehicle, minus the bumpers, because they've started to put them onto one of the vehicles now, which we can walk down, have a look at.
So this is a traditional manufacturing line. I've been to lots of factories, and you've got Ranger down that side and Transit down that side.
Yeah.
So they come in, and you just, as you come down the line, put more and more bits on.
Yeah, so there's 4 stages, so there's a -1 as well, where we just were, as in strip down. Then we go into assembly. So we got stage 1, which will be putting the wings on, putting the bumpers on. At the moment, these guys are putting the side steps on.
Yeah.
Side steps are now available for aftermarket as well. Believe it
Oh,
or not.
okay.
Yeah. So
And the seats or the interior's out at this point as well. Is that taken? The seats were taken out there.
Seats are taken out next door.
Yeah.
So again, taking all the parts out. Like I said, the guys are putting it on. This is one of the left-hand drive vehicles for the Belgian market.
Yeah.
And then as you go down the line, as you walk down, you can see the vehicle evolve then. So no wings, no rear quarter panels.
Yeah.
Go on to the next vehicle where we've got...
It's got wings, quarter panels, but still the old wheels.
Old wheels, yeah. Side sills are on ready.
Sills.
Yeah.
And then it's really cool because you see it evolve. So the next one,
yeah,
it's got the cool wheels. They're just the
cool.
best wheel design.
They are really good.
Is that a specific MSRT wheel design, or is that?
That is, yeah.
Yeah. So nice.
The original wheel was grey.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got in. No, we haven't got any here to show you. But the original wheel was grey.
Yeah.
And with Ford Ranger Limited Edition, we went for a gloss black wheel and then the diamond cut.
Yeah.
Which was...
And they're super easy to clean, which is
Are they?
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's always the thing about. And then you got this side. You got the Transits coming down this side.
Yeah. Transit
Same
Customs.
thing. They kind of, and you've also got they're the coolest wheels for a Transit.
Yeah.
They're just so smart.
OZ racing wheels. But again, this is the same process then as you go down the line. It'll be front end, rear end. As you go down the stages, you get to see the vehicle evolve again.
Yeah.
When we go into new model, as we were talking about earlier, this production, so for custom and for Ranger, will be down in Dagenham.
Yeah.
So we've got a facility in Dagenham, which is massive investments.
So that's a complete integration of MSRT and Ford.
Yeah.
And initially it was at a dealership level. Now it's at a manufacturing level, which is really cool.
So we're literally a couple of minutes down the road from Dunton, so Ford's headquarters.
Sticker pack.
Recognise that one as well?
I do, yeah. You need some orange Petrol Ped ones on there, just as a standard fit. That would be really cool. And so the sticker pack started to go on that one, which is really cool.
So this is so you can have a full sticker pack, or you can have a reduced sticker pack.
Yeah.
This is the reduced sticker pack, and that's got the grey wheels on it. So that was the standard wheel we used to have on the vehicle. Yeah. And I think the interior should be in there as well now.
It is.
Which you've seen before, but...
Yeah. It's so cool. Just to see it come down the line and see it evolve from it looks quite sorry for itself when it comes in because all the wings are off and everything, and then to be finished here. And then from here is final inspection, and then that's
so this is final inspection. So the guys will go around there, check all the torque settings, etc., and make sure it's all fine for it to go into the road.
Yeah.
The COC is produced, so the certificate of conformity is produced for the vehicle, so it's legal, and then it goes up the road.
Cool. Very cool. We do need to have a look at interior though.
Okay. Should we go and see that?
Let's have a look at interior, because you set me a challenge.
I did set you a challenge. You gonna take it up?
Yeah. Should I take up a challenge? It's got to be done, right?
Come on then, let's go and do it.
Bad idea. So, we've just seen one of your colleagues do it, who does it every day, and it looked really hard.
That wasn't fast time either, that was just normal.
So we got a headrest, and we got the lovely leather MSRT trim, then we got to put that on that. And we thought we'd do a race.
Why not?
Why
Let's
not?
Give it a go. Make
So-
sure you get the right way.
Have you done this before?
Maybe.
Maybe. I bet this is a thing you do with all visitors. Let's do a race. Let's
There
make
you
it
go,
look
isn't
like-
it?
Right,
Might
so we've got
beat
to
me
get it
now.
inside out first. It's like a Pope shower cap. All right.
Fancy shower cap.
Yeah. All right, so that's fully inside out. Now, that's the front, that one. So that's got to go like that. Oh, he's working on it. He's working his way on it already. Look. Not that I'm Mr. Competitive or anything, but you can tell I'm competitive. I've got my tongue out. I'm like,
Shower tongue.
oh, here we go, here we go. And that went in there like that, and that went in there like. The thing is, I've got no idea how these clips go in.
They are quite tricky. You can feel the pressure now. You see you're really getting into this.
I am. Look, I've got a blood injury already.
Oh, no.
Medic!
For me,
How do you do that?
I've got the one in, I just need to give it
Look,
a little bit of
blood injury. Look. Oh, yes. Oh no, I've got the middle one in.
Yeah, I got the middle one in. I just got to get the end ones in.
I think the technique looks like you do the end ones first. Does that pass? This video's going to be too long otherwise.
I don't know. Someone's going to win, isn't they?
Okay?
Someone's going to win, isn't they?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be me, isn't it?
Oh! I couldn't get my end bits in. So we're now back in the workshop watching the fitment of the roller shutter. They've assembled it. It's the advanced technique. We've got a guy lying down in the back of the truck just to support the weight. So in that aluminium casing there is the roller all rolled up, and then it kind of comes along these runners that fit either side. The guys have been working on this for an hour or two. There's some, just underneath there's some little brackets that fix that in place. So now this is the dressing plate to make it look all lovely. So that just sits in the back. 3 screws either side. So now the kit's all assembled and everything's together, it's actually gone on the vehicle pretty quickly. You can kind of see the way it's connected just here. So this is going to totally transform the usage of the vehicle, because I'll be able to secure stuff in the load bay, but then the roof bars that are going on it will allow me to use my roof box, my cycle rack, so it's going to totally change the usage of the car. And as if by magic, it is done. Now look at that, it's just totally transformed the rear deck of the Ranger. So much more usable now. So I've got the 2 roof bars that I'll be able to attach to either my cycle carrier or roof box 2, or both. And then if I just open this up, you basically just pull that to one side, and I can access the tailgate, and then you've got this really useful strap. Kind of pull it towards you. Cool. There we go. Look at that. Awesome. Now, I'm going to spin the camera around. Thank the guys from MSRT over here. They have been epic today. Gil and the team, everybody here have been brilliant putting that on, but also showing me around. It's been a brilliant day. I've learned so much about MSRT. I'll put all the details below, but I hope you enjoyed that one. I certainly have. I'm now going to head off home. It's only a couple of hours, I think, probably, you know, in me. I reckon there's more aero there as well. Definitely more aero. Yeah, definitely. But I hope you enjoyed that. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And stay tuned because there's plenty more adventures in the Ford Ranger Limited Edition. I've got some things planned. One in just a couple of weeks, and put it this way, by the end of it, it's not going to be that clean. But now I can also go out and do some adventures with my bikes. So I need to get my bikes on the back of that. But for now, I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.